In the last episode, we dove into Create and we made ourselves a tier 2 spellbook, which has been absolutely wonderful for me. And if you remember, I had large water wheels in those little alcoves right there. And I changed them to this windmill because those water mills were destroying my computer. I would drop to 30 FPS. Less than that, like 25, 23 even FPS by looking at them. And so I had to change those to this windmill right here, which doesn't help very much. It still drops it to like 50 FPS, but oh, it's so much better than that 30 that I was getting. 23. Oh my gosh. But anyways, I've got a lot to go over because we are nowhere near the end of this chapter, but I really want to do it. So let's dive into it. Now, I've had to do a couple things off camera because if I didn't, we would not be able to do this for this video. But I got ourselves a nice source gem production, and this took me, I want to say like 2 hours to do. It was honestly an insane amount of time that it took me to do this. But just set us up some potion crafting. We had to kickstart it with our fluidic source link that we went over in the last episode. Had to kickstart it with some source, but now it's self-perpetuating. If you're going to set up something like this, I would recommend making like 3 Wixies. If you can get them, you can find Wixie shards in chests and stuff by looting. I would recommend making 3, set 1 of them to an awkward potion, and have it off to the side over here, away from your alchemical source link, because it'll eat it up and it'll just break everything. So put it far away from the source link, but close enough to where the witches can reach it. And then set the other 2 to whatever potion that you're going to be crafting. We are using a potion of mana regeneration because it uses these source berries, and they are completely renewable with this Starbuncle. You can also use Abjuration Essence as in place of Netherwarts to kickstart the process and make the awkward potion. You don't have to use Netherwarts, so that's another renewable resource because we're sending. So we've got our amethyst farm over there being turned into source gems. It is being taken over here and turned into Abjuration Essence, and this Starbuncle right here is gathering up our source berries and moving our Abjuration Essence into this chest, and it is completely renewable right now. So I've got basically infinite source if it produces fast enough. Another thing I did off camera is make this dim pulsating crystal. What it does is it takes source. I've got some source piping in from source relays into here, and it takes source and turns it into power. And it also takes a little bit of aura. So I need to replenish the aura in this area before it turns really bad, but I'll do that later. Maybe off camera or something. And the last things I did is I set up a bee farm because we're going to need some delicious honey in order to do what we need to do today. And honey takes a long time to produce, so I wanted to get it started. I made an altar of birthing. That's how you get the bees and other passive mobs if you want them, like cows and pigs and stuff. But I didn't really feel like it needed to be shown on camera. It's not hard to do at all. Neither is this. It's just a ritual. And surrounded by flowers, and I put the bees over here because of all the flowers. Yeah, that's all the stuff I did off camera. So now let's get into the video. Now you see over here, I've got a lot planned for us. We've got to make a ton of these things. Now it's very out of order. It's mainly just crafting recipes that I'm just gonna have to go over, but there's a lot of it also that's not crafting recipes, like these summoning blazes or summoning a blitz, and you know, all these other rituals that we're going to need to do. But the first thing we need to do is we need to get an arcane compressor, which is just a flux compressor from Pneumatic Craft. It takes power, energy, and turns it into air pressure. That's the first thing we need to do is dive into a little bit of Pneumatic Craft Repressurized. So let's look up how to make this. This is kind of difficult. We're going to need some spell focuses, and we're going to need some of these propellers and a couple other things, like infused ironwood ingots, which that's not hard to make at all. Fire starter, that's from Nature's Aura. We get those as a quest reward, so we don't really need to worry about that. We know how to get shafts, we know how to get blast furnaces, we know how to get the rest. All we need to worry about is this propeller and this focus of air and fire. Let's look into those. So these focuses aren't too hard to make. We're gonna need some moon dust, some charged Certus quartz crystal, some electrum wire, and some air essence. And what's this moon dust? So we need a little bit of water, some silver dust into a cauldron, and get some moon dust. Let's do that right now. Come over to our create section. I set up a little bit of automation off camera. We can just throw in some silver ingots, and it'll be piped into our millstone here that we have. And it's gonna go straight into this chest here. Get 8 of it, let the rest do its own thing. Come on over here. So if we look at the moon dust recipe, we see that it requires 250 millibuckets of water. And I don't know about you, but I hate it when you put a bucket in there, it's 1,000, and then you use it, and it's like 750 left, and you can't take the water out. You just got to deal with it. or like break the block or something or keep making more. I really hate that. But one thing I found out is 250 millibuckets is exactly the same as 1 bottle of water. So we can just put that in there, 250 millibuckets, and start our crafting. Get our moon dust. Now we just need some electrum wire. And how do you get wire? And the easiest way for us to get wire right now is to use this rolling mill, which you get it as, I think you just make it. Not hard at all. You just need some earth essence, shafts, some compressed stone and compressed stone casings. I think you also get it as a reward. Let me see if I have one. I don't have one. You don't get it as a reward. I'm sorry. But it's not hard to make at all. So we can just craft one up real fast, bring it on over to our create section, and find a place to put it. So the rolling mill is a very interesting item in the fact that it actually becomes a part of the shaft process. It doesn't require any of these wheels. It's just part of the shaft, which I think is pretty interesting. Anyways, let's put some of these in here. What do you do? Throw it on there? No. All right, so we just gotta put it on top. Okay, we gotta throw it in on top. Well, honestly, let's just throw a whole stack on there. It's gonna do its thing. If you want to retrieve the items, you just gotta right-click it. Look at that. 8 electrum rods. I'm gonna let this finish up. I don't know, give us these electrum rods, and we just gotta throw them on top again to give us the wires that we need. And that's true for all the wires that we are gonna be making, or all the wires that you're gonna need to make. There we go, 36 electrum wires. That should be plenty for what we need to do today. All right, last thing we need to do is get our essences. Air essence and fire essence, and we need to get our trees, because it's a ritual of the forest ritual. So we need a blazing archwood sapling, and we need a flashing archwood sapling. And finally, we just need some charged Certus quartz crystals. Just 2. Look at that bad boy go. Whew, that is slow. Oh, master of the air. Look at that. Now we gotta do the same thing, but with fire. Oh, here it goes. Ooh. Master of fire. There's a couple others you can make, but we're not gonna make them just yet. Or at all. I don't know if we're gonna make them today. I don't know. So we got these out of the way for our focuses. We're also gonna need to sacrifice a blitz for this. And so let's make these propellers to get the rest of our items. And then let's go into how to do that. Sacrificing a blitz. All right, so now I just gotta make these propellers, which is not hard. You see constantin plates, which constantin isn't hard to get. It's another one of those metals that you need to mix, like electrum and bronze. And all it is you just gotta mix together nickel dust, copper dust, and redstone dust. And you get nickel dust from crushing copper dust. And there's no heating required, so you can just mix away. We got our propellers. Next we need to do is get some, let's see, do we have any extraneous fire starters? We should. We have 1, that's all we need. All right guys, last thing we need to get is the infused ironwood. And all you gotta do is you gotta put your ironwood into this natural altar and it infuses it. Very nice, very nice. Now what we need to do, so we have everything that we need for the arcane compressor, but we need to sacrifice a blitz. And how we do that is we gotta summon a blitz first. And it's not very hard, you just need some mage bloom fibers, some gold bars, which is not hard to make, and some air essence and conjuration essence. And you put it at the exact same ritual. All right guys, so we go to this ritual right here, and let's start putting our items down. So we're gonna need some gold bars over here, 4 gold bars. We need 4 mage blooms. And we need 4 air essence. Now guys, it doesn't matter in what order you put these in, but I just like to make it look all nice and neat. So get that started. Oh, ritual of binding complete. All right, I think we need to start putting our stuff down for the other ritual as fast as we can. And we just gotta put blast furnace in the center, just like that. Ritual started. Now we just gotta, oh, we can shoot this thing? Is that it? There we go. I don't know what that was about. There we go. Arcane compressor. Look at that. That is, oh, so cool. Oh, I'm excited. I'm getting into it. I'm getting into it. So I'll take this over here to our dim pulsating crystal, the thing that is producing power for us. And I don't know what to do from here. So I'm actually going to let this sit in my inventory for a second, and we are going to dive a little deeper into some other stuff that we need to make. Mainly, we need to make a pressure chamber. If you are familiar with Pneumatic Craft at all, you know that the pressure chamber is one of the main things that we're going to be making, or that you're going to be using. And so for this, you need compressed brick tiles, not just compressed stone. And compressed brick tiles is same thing as making regular brick tiles. There you go, so we just get some pressure chamber walls. We also need some other stuff. We're gonna make ourselves some pressure chamber walls. We're also gonna need a pressure chamber valve so we can hook it up to our compressor. We need to make a pressure tube. Not hard to make at all. There's some pressure chamber valves and some pressure tubes. And next thing we need to make is this pressure chamber interface. And this is a little difficult to make because we're gonna need 2 more items. We're gonna need a portable storage interface, which isn't hard to make. You just need a casing and a chute, which a chute is made with black sheet metal. And the way you get black sheet metal is with copper sheet metal that you dye black. And now we just need to make some copper sheet metal, which is just copper plates in a diamond pattern. And we got a bunch of copper plates, so let's just make a bunch of those. And we also have some ink sacks, so we got some black dye. Now I just need 2 portable storage interfaces. And the next thing we're gonna make is we're gonna need to make a module expansion crystal, which is kind of difficult to make. We're gonna need some more electrum wire, some more compressed stone slabs, Sturgis quartz block, and we're gonna need to sacrifice another blitz. So we're gonna have to summon one again with that ritual. An important thing to note is when this mob spawns, it has no AI, so it can't do anything to you. So you can just kill it. Nice, look at that. 8 module expansion cards, or crystals. We just need 1, so we have some spares, which is good, because I do not want to do that again. So we're going to come over here, we're going to build ourselves a pressure chamber. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to build it off the ground just a little bit so that we can access the bottom of it. And I'm thinking we're just going to put it right here. And guys, the reason why I want to put it off the ground is so that we can access the bottom with hoppers. Make ourselves some pressure chamber interfaces. This is what's going to input and output from the pressure chamber itself. So it really depends on which way you're facing. For output, you want the blue to be facing you because orange will be on the bottom. Output. Now I'll just build the rest of the chamber. And now I need to put the other interface. Output, right on top. Put a hopper right there so we can put items into it. And we are forgetting one thing. We need to break this right here and put ourselves a pressure chamber valve right there. And now it's good. And now where it's output, we'll put another hopper and we can put a chest right beneath it. And now we can take our arcane compressor and put it somewhere. Where should we put it? I don't know how this thing works. I'm thinking it does wireless transfer. Let's find out. I see. Okay. So you have to put the dim pulsating crystal on top of the compressor itself, which is kind of whack because that's how you take heat away from it. We have this compressor, start piping pressure into this pressure chamber, and now we can do the next part of this quest line. And guys, I recommend putting a safety tube module on your tubes because if this gets too high or the pressure builds up too much, it will explode. And we do not want that because it'll ruin a lot of work. So what this does is just once it gets up to 5 bars or 4.9 bars, I have to say, it'll release pressure and it prevents this from exploding. So that is awesome. All right, guys, while the pressure chamber is filling up, we are going to be making a Thermopneumatic Processing Plant. And to do that, we're going to need to make some fluid cell frames. And to do that, we're going to need to make some cured rubber. So we're going to need to make some regular rubber. And we're going to need to get latex. And to get latex, we're going to need to make a compacting process in Create. So we're going to need a mechanical press and a basin. So how do we get a mechanical press? Super easy. We just need some earth essence, casings, compressed stone, and a shaft. So we got all of that. We just need one. We also need a basin. Not too hard to make. Now let's go set this up at our machine. Put the basin down. And just like the rolling mill, it's going to hook directly into these shafts. So I'll just do that. Oops, too low. Okay. Put that right there. And look at that. Now I got to go out and get ourselves some vines, which thankfully we live right next to a swamp. So we have vines aplenty. So I was going to take some of these vines. We're going to plop them on in here. There we go, 4. And it's just going to mash it up. And how much does that make? That makes 200 millibuckets. So we need to do this 5 times to get an entire bucket. And so now we just got to mix it up and get some rubber out of it and some water. But in order to do that, we're going to have to get ourselves a blaze burner. And to get a blaze burner is we're just going to go back to that ritual we were doing earlier and put some more stuff in. And we're going to have to summon ourselves a blaze, just like we were doing earlier. So let's go do that real fast. Just gonna summon a blaze so I can kill it in front of its kids. Die! There we go. Nice. And we got ourselves a blaze burner. Woo! Blaze burner! Sentient fireplace. And we're just going to take this over to our mixer that we already have and place it right beneath it. And oh, look at him. He's so cute. Now, to use the blaze burner, all you got to do is give it some wood or some burnable materials like coal, wood, lava. Works really well, but we don't have a lot of lava, so I'm trying to save it. Once we got that heated up, we just got to put in our latex. It's going to start mixing up. We're going to have to give it a lot of wood so that it stays heated. There we go. Now we got some rubber in there and some water, which is exactly what we need to make the cured rubber. All we gotta do is add some fire essence. But we're gonna have to get some more leaves so we can get some more latex to get some more rubber. I just gotta get our fire essence and just throw it on in there. There we go, got our cured rubber. Pretty easy. Now we can go on over here and make ourselves some fluid cell frames. We need 2 of them, which we have exactly enough rubber to make. Now we can make ourselves a Thermopneumatic Processing Plant. Look at that. All right, with this, we're just gonna hook it up to our pressure system, like so. And what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna get another blaze burner to put beneath it to act as a heat source, because that's what we need. We need a heat source for it. Summoning another blaze, probably the grandson of the first blaze. And if you guys are wondering where you get the nether brick from, netherrack spawns in the Urghast tower. So you just go kill the Urghast, get that stuff going, and you're good to go. Just like before, we'll get the blaze in here. Alright guys, now that we have our Thermopneumatic Processing Plant, we are on to our next task. And guys, the reason why we're doing all this is so that we can make aluminum. So all we gotta do right now is we gotta get some clay, and we gotta go back over to our natural altar. And it's gonna turn it into this kaolin clay. I don't know how to pronounce it. We're gonna get a lot of it. All right, now that we have this kaolin clay, we're just gonna put it into our Thermopneumatic Processing Plant. We're gonna give this little blaze burner some fuel. You're gonna start heating it up, and as it heats up, it's gonna, let's see, how hot does it need to be? So we gotta heat this baby up to about 650 degrees Celsius, which it is not doing that right now. So what we need to do is we need to make some thermal lagging, which is not hard to make. You just need some wool and some quartz glass, and quartz glass is just quartz and glass. But what this thermal lagging does is it insulates the block that it's on and keeps heat from escaping, or basically allowing it to get it hotter. All right, so we got our thermal lagging. We're just gonna bloop, 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 and final side over here, bloop. There you go. Give this blaze some more heat, and look at that baby shoot up in temperature. So you see that little bracket right there? That's where it's got to be. There you go. We're gonna let this run out, and we're gonna get these kaolin pearls, and we're gonna put them into the pressure chamber. Awesome. 32 pearls. Now it's going to jump up here, put them on in here. And what it's going to do is going to take them in. Once it gets all of them in there, it's going to inject them in there. And once it gets a high enough pressure, which is at 4 bars, start hearing them pop. It's going to inject them into here. There we get some kaolin powder. And there we go, guys. An entire stack of kaolin powder. And now all we got to do with that is we got to put it back into the Thermopneumatic Processing Plant. But before we do that, we got to make some redstone acid. And redstone acid isn't hard to make. It does require you to be very high temperature-wise. Might need some charcoal for this. I think charcoal burns harder than wood in the blaze burner. I'm not entirely positive, but I might be completely wrong on that. So I'm just gonna let this redstone acid make. I was gonna make 4,000 millibuckets. We're not gonna make the entire thing. That's kind of insane. Get all of our redstone acid into this bucket. I'm gonna move this on over. Let's take it all back out. There we go. Now we just gotta put this redstone acid back in here. And we gotta put our kaolin powder in there. And it's gonna start making super fast. And that's how you get dirty aluminum dust. And just 1,000 millibuckets can make like, I think 100 kaolin powder. All right, got ourselves some dirty aluminum dust. Now we just gotta smelt this down. And it's gonna give ourselves some aluminum. No, don't do that. Oh my gosh, guys. Aluminum is so nice to have. That's just like the next step in the process. We upgraded. That's what we did. We upgraded. All right, guys. Next thing that we need to do is since we finally just like basically beat this chapter, the only thing left for us to do is, besides all the side stuff, is to make the tree of life. And that's what we're going to do now. But the only thing about that is we got to make this shard of renewal right here. And this shard is insane to make. It is kind of crazy how much it takes. It takes 64 motes of renewal, which isn't hard to get, but it takes 4 stacks of those. And that's kind of hard to get. 4 blocks of, a stack of blocks of steel leaves, 64 sea lanterns, 2 stacks of fertilizer, and this primordial seed, which is insane. Insane to say the least. But that's the next step. And I think I'm just going to do that off camera because This video is going to be pretty long as it is. So yeah, I'll see you guys back when I have done this. Oh, also, before I do that, a very easy way to get sea lanterns and blocks of steel leaf is to do the questing ram. You know, you find the magical ram, you give them all the wool, and it gives you 16 blocks of steel leaf and 16 sea lanterns. So we just got to do, I've already done one, so we just got to do 3 more. And this fertilizer is easy to get. You just got to get slag and niter dust. And slag, you just smelt down gravel, like that. Smelt it down. And niter dust, you just get niter, which you get from crushing sandstone. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing for the next 2 or 3 hours. Yep, I'll see you guys back in a minute. All right, guys, we are back. I just spent 3 or 4 hours just getting all of the required materials that we need in order to make this shard of renewal, which is the next thing that we need to make now that we have our pressure chamber. And this is going to allow us to make the tree of life, stage 1, and hopefully end the chapter. So everything I got, we just got some fertilizer, which is not hard to make. You just need some slag, which you get from smelting down some gravel, and niter dust, which you get from crushing niter, which you get from sandstone. So I just went out and got a bunch of sandstone, put it into my milling machine, and just did that for a good hour or so until I got enough to make 2 stacks of fertilizer. We went out and got 4 questing rams because each one gives us 16 sea lanterns and 16 blocks of steel. So I did 4 of them and got us 2 whole stacks, or a stack of each, which is exactly what we needed. And I'm super happy that we did that. And then what took the absolute longest time is getting all of these motes of renewal. Now, they may look like antimatter pellets from Mechanism, but they have been changed to these motes of renewal. They are not super hard to get. You just need a lingering potion into a natural altar. You need roughly like a stack and a half to get all of the required that you need for this. So I just spent like so much time doing that. Getting these lingering potions, not hard to get at all. You just need, the only hard one to get is this Breath of Twilight, which you get from making honey bottles into the natural altar. And the honey bottles weren't too hard to get with this honey setup that we have. Using this hive hopper gives us like 8 bottles of honey in like, not like 10 minutes maybe. So you're gonna need about 18 of each, roughly 18 to make all the potions. Make the potions in this mixing cauldron much better, much faster. Last thing that we need to do is we need to put this enchanted golden apple into this imbuement chamber to make ourselves a primordial seed. And all we need is a questing ram trophy, which we've got 4 of those now. We need a drink me charm, whirly sprig charm, flare cannon charm, and a siren charm. And I just got these from looting different places. You can make each one though, like the flare cannon charm, pretty easy to make. Same with the siren charm, not hard. Need aqua chow, which isn't too hard to get at all. And yeah, just a bunch of crafting recipes. It's not hard. I don't really need to go over that. Yeah, you just put those around an imbuement chamber. You put your apple in there. And it's going to take 10,000 source. I do have source jars around full of source, so we can just get those and put them down real fast. Supercharge the process. Look at that. Be done in no time. All right, now that we got that primordial seed, let's go over to our pressure chamber, and we're going to toss all these items in so we can get a shard of renewal. You just got to access this hopper right here. We're going to put in our fertilizer. Oh, it's going to take a while. You know, let's get a chest. Put a chest up here. It's going to toss everything into it, like so. And this process is going to take a while. All right, guys, everything is in there except for this primordial seed. So now we just got to put that into the hopper. It's going to get sent in there. And now I just got to wait for the shard to come out. Ow, ow. Ow, ow. I think it's done. I think the shard's done. Look at that. A shard of renewal. So now we just got to get the shard with 4 spirits of calling. And we got to get some infused ironwood now. Oop, we don't have any. So I think we just need 8. Gonna go over to our altar, infuse these ironwood ingots. There we go, 8 infused ironwood ingots. Now I just got to come over here to this circle right here. This is called an Aviar's circle, I think is what it's called. We just got to put the iron ingots around like this. Get the 4 spirits of calling on the edges, like so. And then finally, we got to put the shard of renewal in the center. Oh, look at that. It's going to go fast. Oh, here it comes, guys. All the items are gone. The tree takes root. Where? Oh, whoa! Oh, heck, dude. My base! My base! It didn't tell me about this! Choose a ritual site with plenty of room to give the tree the space it needs to take root. Performing this ritual will grow the tree immediately, centered upon the ritual pinnacle. Dang. Dang. Come on, dude. My base! This is cool, though. This is really cool. Guys, we did it. We beat chapter 1. But guys, I think that's going to be the end of this series. Unless you guys want me to stream it, I think this is going to be the end. Everyone else is leaving E9E. I really wanted to finish this chapter off, but if you guys want to, comment, let me know how you feel about this change. But I think that's going to be the end of the series. And I will see you guys next time on a new mod pack. Bye-bye!